Welcome back to Brew and Biz Chats, where we shine the Espresso Spotlight on Aussie business owners who are creating with heart, building with purpose, and sharing the real stories behind their brand. In this episode, I'm joined with the inspirational Tara, founder of Postpartum Nurturing. Tara's work is all about supporting mothers in the most transformative and most overlooked seasons of life, the postpartum years. Her mission is to help mums replenish their energy, deeply nourish their bodies, restore gestation, and ultimately become the mother they yearn to be. Through her holistic approach, Tara is creating safe places for women to feel seen, supported, and nurtured, not just as new mums, but as the whole people navigating a powerful life transition. Today, we'll talk about Tara's journey into this work, the importance of postpartum care that goes beyond quick fixes, and how nurturing practices can shift the way we experience motherhood. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's dive into episode 5 of Brew and Biz Chats. Welcome, Tara.
Well, thank you so much, Felicity. It's really an honor to be doing this.
No, it's great to have you on board. And I think you already know that I truly believe in your business and wanting to get your business out there because what you do is it's with such purpose and it's really something that's needed in life, in as a journey as a woman, as a mother, as a family. Like
hmm
it's not just always either about the women, it's about the whole family and the unit that we
hmm
create.
Which
So
which translates to community at the end of the, more families. Families create
exactly.
communities. So,
Exactly. So I guess we'll start it off with can you share your journey into founding your business, Postpartum Nurturing, and what inspired you to focus on this deeply important season of mother's life?
thank you. Well, I would have to say that I kind of was led into this. So, my own personal journey, I'm a mum of five, and I experienced, a whole different range of things throughout each of the five babies, like from a very limited support, um, right through to having, support and family and friends there, but ultimately, um, still really floundering because people don't really know what the new mother actually needs and how to be supportive apart from, like, yes, sure, it's really, really beautiful and helpful to have dishes done and things like that. But what I discovered after becoming depleted, I'd had also postpartum depression with my third one and various other things that the nourishment side of things is absolutely foundational for healing and recovering and long-term health. So I had the five babies, and then but I'd always actually been around. It's probably since around about 2001. I had already started to um, uh, facilitate mums groups. So I helped with like a home birthing mums group in 22 years ago, and then I ran another group, and then we moved town, and I still found myself like forming these mothers groups. And it was really
Mm,
interesting to me because it was just what I naturally did. I was always around mamas who were breastfeeding as well, and we would just talk, and support each other. And so and then a few years ago, I did life coaching. And again, I found myself wanting to help mums create the life that they wanted to live. Then I discovered some breastfeeding training and I really lit up around that. And so I dove in and was doing this breastfeeding training. And when I discovered that one in three women, uh, only one in three women actually succeed at having
yeah.
a breastfeeding journey that they enjoy. I was really saddened by that, and various other things that I've discovered during that period. I also um, was discovering about nutrition as well with mothers, particularly around postpartum, like what happens to our bodies, that it's not the same as eating, when we're pregnant. And so I just basically, yeah, it's just kind of like found me, I think.
Yeah, it's
Um,
amazing how that happens
yeah,
when you've got a
yeah,
purpose and it finds you no matter what.
yeah. And it
It'll
was that
always
lit
draw
up.
you back to it.
Yeah. And I was really lit up by what I was learning. And I just knew that I had to help mothers, knowing what I went through and knowing that pretty much every mother that I've talked to has had some sort of issue with breastfeeding or their health or their depression. And it's rampant and it can be, um, it doesn't have to be that way. It's common, but not, it's become, yeah, so common, but it's not normal.
Yeah, and it's hard because you find like I've got two kids, and so I breastfed both of them. But the one common thing, like when people say they think that breastfeeding is natural, and okay, I get it is natural, but it takes work, it takes understanding, it takes education,
Mm. It's a learned
and
skill.
it is a learned skill, and some babies get it, some don't. You need to, as a mother, you need to understand how to help your baby, breastfeed, and I'm not going to turn it into fully breastfeed, but what people don't get is that you're as a new mother, and I do remember this very freshly, even though it was 8 to 10 years ago, whichever kid you want to take on. Um, Going through that phase of postpartum for me was very much like the ups and downs and roller coaster of emotions,
Mm.
and so I think that's why I connected with, when I heard your story of what you do, I try my best to really help any mother around me when they do, and try to get them to know to seek help or just
Mm.
to seek someone to speak to.
Yes, we're not very good at speaking
Because
up and asking for help.
no,
I don't
and
want to
you
break
see
that as well. Mm.
no, and you see so many things that people just say, well, that's normal, or deal with it. And it's like, it's not
Mm.
normal, or
Mm-mm.
it might be normal, but it's called have a community so that you can actually
Mm-hmm.
speak. Don't be diminished and
Mm.
don't be put down on something. It's really something motherhood is a beautiful thing, but it can be hard. And I mean,
Well,
you've done
absolutely.
it with five.
There's challenges. There's challenges and there's joys, like with anything. But we have moved so far away from how cultural practices have known what to do for centuries.
Yeah,
We just don't even know about it.
I
And
know. And I
that's where the
mean,
breakdown is.
one of the interesting ones is where you just said community before. Like, you just
Exactly.
say historically, if you go back well beyond thing, it's all about having a community around you. Everyone helped
Yes.
each other. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's not something you should do on your own. It
No.
takes a village to raise children. And it's all about being supportive and being a part of that. So I love that you've taken that on board, and it's all your purpose has been drawn back to you. As you said, right from the very beginning, you kept surrounding yourself unknowingly with
Yeah.
somehow you were another part of a mum's group, another,
Yeah.
creating another mum's group and being part of your wisdom with that. So I think that speaks very much to your, sparked the idea and gone, hang on, if everything's lining up and telling me this is where I have to go, this is where you got to go.
Yes.
So,
Exactly.
yeah. Um, so I know the heart of your business, you really talk about the replenishing energy, feeling nourished, and restoring digestion.
Digestion.
Hi,
Yep.
I got the word right this time. I stumbled on it originally. Digestion in the earlies, and I'll say that was probably where it let me down on a lot of things. And I
Mm,
know over the years, anything if you've got the right energy, you've got the right food source in you, it can really change your day-to-day life.
absolutely.
So I was wondering, can you help me unpack on what that really looks like in what you do as a business?
hmm
Help.
So I help mums first of all learn about their bodies and what's changed since birth, basically, which is the nervous system, the digestive system, and hormones. And there's natural fluctuations that happen, right? But I help a mother understand what's happened and what her body actually needs to replenish and recover because there is in this societal belief that a mother should just get back to normal within the first, couple of months, or that the postpartum period is only 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And
Everyone
it's
has this
not
six
only
weeks in
six
their
weeks.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because of the 6 week checkup. You go
Yeah.
to the doctor, you have a 6 week checkup, they check your uterus and say, yep, it's all back in place, you're good to go. But what happens in that 6 weeks is enormous changes. And if we haven't supported those changes and all the rest and the recovery, like the healing, where the placenta attaches, right? There's a big wound left internally.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to have that wound on the outside, people would be in a fluster. But because we have it on the inside, we don't see it. Sure, we have bleeding, but we don't see what's actually needing to repair. Then it's very easy to forget about and dismiss. And so then women want to lose the baby weight and they want to focus on getting back into their clothes and just try and fit back into society without actually having the time and the support to um, to nourish themselves and actually replenish the nutrients. So babies take 9 months. They are taking massive amounts of nutrients. It's normal to grow this baby healthy and strong. And oftentimes mothers are depleted before that. And so I help, mothers get back on track with repleting their nutrition, and that's foundational for healing. And we go through a specific nutrition plan that's been devised, not created by me, but by Miranda Bauer, who is the one that created the Postpartum University. And so she's got the 6 weeks planned so that a mother doesn't have to think about what she's got to eat. We've got it all there, and we go through the meals, and I give her tips and ways to make things. The recipes are easy, nourishing, and deeply focusing on the essentials that her body needs to heal and replenish.
Yeah.
And so I do that
amazing.
online. Yeah. I do that online, and I can help in type person. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So that's amazing because it's very much like when you're a new mum and having to think about what food to eat and how to get the right nutrients. I mean, even as a breastfeeding mum, you're thrown different things about eat this, eat that, eat this, it'll
Yeah.
help you milk it. And like, I don't know what the hell's going on anymore.
Yeah. There's that, and there's also the other way where mums are skipping meals.
Yes.
Like especially if they've got a toddler or they're hungry and they've got their hands full, they're skipping so many meals and they're relying on a cuppa to boost their energy. They're relying on coffee. They're relying on, like just a snack here and there, and they're not giving the body what she actually needs. And so, yeah, you've got those two things happening there. And also I do breastfeeding support as well, I was going to say in that, and helping a mother, learn what's myth and what's actually the
There's
truth
so
around her
many
breast
myths
milk.
out there, isn't there? So
Yeah.
we all we've had that conversation already about the
Yeah.
myths that can occur between
Mm.
the experts they say in the hospitals and versus
Mm.
the experts on social media and just the word of mouth of family and friends that can really really confuse
Mm-hmm.
um, mums and parents. And so sorry, I've just lost the track. So you talked about the nourishing meals and the nourishing plan, and I just want to throw this out as probably not even in a question that I've asked you before previously. Um, Dietary requirements, because this is something that I would turn around and go, well, hang on, that's all very well and good that you can do that, but I've got dietary requirements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As someone who does have dietary requirements, can you amend those? Can you work with the mums that have dietary requirements that need to stick to certain diets? Gluten-free,
Yep. Absolutely.
dairy-free, those sorts of
All the
things.
meals are gluten and dairy free because
Okay.
gluten and dairy do cause inflammation in the body. And so when a mother's body has, given birth, there is the acute inflammation that happens as a normal part of the process of healing. But when there's heavy meals on top of that, when there's gluten, when there's dairy, when there's other factors in their meals, then it's sitting there in the stomach and not digesting well. And so then that starts to, the body isn't
Pile up.
absorbing the nutrition. So yeah, all the meals are gluten and dairy free, and we work around anything that, if there's spiritual reasons for not eating certain foods or just don't like them or anything like that. I absolutely, we go through the plan together and cater for that.
Those picky eaters out there.
Mm.
When you've got the I don't like tomato or something. But you know what? If you can work around all of that, and that's the interesting one is that people don't realize that the gluten and the lactose or the dairy can really play a big part in your gut health. So obviously taking note of that and actually educating people when it comes to recovery is a really important
Mm.
part of that. So
And it doesn't have to be forever, but definitely if, the initial period, and this is even for mums 12 months down the track who are seeing signs of, autoimmune and or depression or something like that, that it's very, very common in popping up. Um, then this period of healing with these specific nutrient-rich foods is very beneficial for that period. And then you introduce things again slowly.
yeah, I must say, I wish I knew you 10 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of people say
Um,
that.
because I mean, it's those sorts of things that it's so hard to understand
Mm,
and realize that it's really important. And you always wish you knew what you didn't know it back then. So
yeah.
for those that are brand new into the parenthood era of their
Yeah.
lives, yeah, it's definitely something that should be taken on board. So yeah.
Well, and I just wanted to add there too, we learn so much about, prepping for pregnancy, sorry, for birth. But no one actually talks about, like everyone sort of says, yeah, eat well and eat the range of foods while you're pregnant. But no one actually talks about what to be eating afterwards and
No.
or even how to prepare for your postpartum, not just even the eating side of it, but yeah, that's where I
No,
help
it's
mums.
it's definitely something that a lot of people don't really, you put so much effort into don't eat, get your list of safe foods not to eat when you're safe foods that what you can eat when you're pregnant
Mm,
for that 9 months. And then obviously going through that whole what do you expect during labor, but what do you expect when you walk in the
mm,
door when you get home?
mm,
Sometimes it's within 24 hours of even giving birth and you're a brand new mum, brand
mm-hmm,
new parent, and you're suddenly going, what do we do now? Like,
mm,
and it can be very, overwhelming.
yes,
So yeah, yeah, it's definitely it brings me back to those interesting times of remembering walking in that door.
yeah.
Um, so I guess you spoke about that. Obviously, we talked about myths and all those sorts of things. So I guess trying to break through the myths and reframing the postpartum journey. Um, it's usually framed as we've touched on as, you get through it, your 6 weeks is check is
Mm,
done, and you think that that's sort of postpartum's done.
mm.
How do you help mums reframe that period to understand it's a time of nourishment and healing?
Um, well, I think it's just education, and also helping them to realize that um, this is not just, like it's not just like can just stay home for a couple of weeks and have, someone maybe do a bit of housework for me. It's actually I can't even remember your question, sorry, but if I've gone on track off track, it's like really educating them around,
Yeah,
like I said before, the change that happened to the body and what can happen when things aren't, when you aren't nourished in those early weeks, when you aren't really properly supported and replenishing your body. Um, and yeah, that's basically it. I just really just educate them and share with them. And I think a lot of mothers that I've spoken to, and myself was included in here, we have the feeling, we have this knowing that's like something's not right. I feel like I have to do a cleanse or a detox, or like I just don't feel myself anymore.
yeah,
Like so many mothers have felt that way, like, 5 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years down the track, 4 years down the track, and they just keep feeling like they have to fix something. Well, it's not that something necessarily needs to be fixed, but it's just about learning what the body needed in those early times and that it's never too late to have that nourishment and that healing and sort of to relive your postpartum in a way that, you
yeah,
know, you're giving the body what it needs. Mm,
yeah. No, it's definitely, yeah, education. And I think the big one from that is that also that it's not just the 6 weeks, it's it could be 12 months, it could be 2 years.
exactly.
It really just flows on. Once your body has gone through that transformation,
Mm,
unfortunately, it's not going to go back to the way it used to be. And you have to really learn to love your body and how to nourish
and
it and how to
adapt.
really look after it and adapt to
Yeah.
the body.
It's also
Yeah,
the nervous system too. Like I touch on that as well. Like because if our nervous system is in a state of fight or flight all the time, and we can't come back to that rest and digest, then again, it's going to affect the nutrients that we are able to absorb. So it's you know, a lot of us, yeah, even if it's breastfeeding issues, if it's like the lack of support, if it's the overwhelm from too much advice from every different person, and you lose touch with your intuition, like that is going to put a mum into that high stress, and we stay on for
Yeah.
for much of the time. So yeah,
And I mean, throw in there lack of sleep
that's
and
right. Yep,
and broken sleep. And
yep,
I think from the early days, you might only be living with 5 hours broken sleep and
yep. And I
adjusting
teach
to
mums
a
how to
whole
do that
new
as well. Yeah,
yeah whole new
how
time
to.
of living.
Yep, so
They do
much
say
going on.
sleep
I
could be
help with,
lack of
I
sleep.
just help, yeah, I just help mums learn how to, if you're used to getting 8 hours of sleep a day, a night, like you, like our bodies are meant to be able to cope with the broken sleep. Like we're very beautifully created. And but there's little tips that you can have, like the rest and the recovery, so the rest and the sleep that you need throughout the day in
Mm.
those early weeks to make up for the interrupted sleeps. Because look, I was one of those mums who just kept pushing myself through the day because there was always something else to do. Of course, by the time I had my fifth baby, there was definitely other things to be doing, and so I would rest, but obviously I wasn't resting enough, to why I hit depletion.
Yeah. And I mean, even taking that time to, if you're, a lot of mums will say they can't sleep during the day or they can't sleep when the baby's sleeping and so on.
Mm.
Well, okay, go and sit down and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Or maybe not
Yeah.
coffee, maybe go with tea.
Yeah,
But
they can do that if they
have a
want.
cup of
But I
tea
give
and
tips. Mm.
yeah, and just take that time to really
Mm.
stop. Because that will
Yeah.
help reset your body as well. So, I guess what type of misconceptions do you see most often with, and this will be a bit, of a try to address only what a handful because I know that there's many. But is there ones that you most often see with postpartum care, and how do you address those misconceptions?
So with postpartum care, I think, yeah, I think the big one is what I mentioned before, the societal belief that a mum should just be able to bounce back as quickly as possible and just get on with it.
Hmm.
And be, should just be able to cope, whatever cope is,
Yeah.
and and soldier on. We've got to put that super mum cape on and just keep on going. Um, there's that one, and the other one is around the breastfeeding, which I'm super passionate about. Was I'm seeing and hearing so many mothers being told that they don't have enough milk, and they have to top up.
Yep.
And it's really sad because they're not being, first of all, they're not being encouraged to trust themselves. They're not told the right thing. Like, I don't even know if many mums even know that colostrum is the first, milk that comes in, like that is available for their
Mm.
baby. And it only takes a teaspoon to fill the baby
Yeah.
in that
Because
first day
their
or two.
tummies are
A
so tiny.
teaspoon,
It's not
tiny,
that like
like a
their tummies
marble.
are huge.
It's a marble size, and then by the end of the week, it goes to a walnut size, well, maybe golf ball size by the eighth or something day. And they do a lot of growth, of course. But for a mum to sit there and be expressing colostrum, and then she's absolutely disappointed and feels like a failure because she's only expressing not even a teaspoonful. She feels like she hasn't got the milk then.
Yeah.
And then she gets told, oh, well, you need to top up with formula. Once you start doing that, look, I absolutely get that there's times when that needs to happen, but for the majority, it doesn't. And low milk supply is actually not very common. It's
Yeah.
not common. When I learnt that, I was blown away. And so, um, when if a mother is encouraged to breastfeed on demand, her body will make the perfect amount for her baby. When the baby is latching well and correctly, and there's no pain, this will continue the supply of the breast milk. And so, it's the two things that they have to really remember. Um, And there's something I was going to say there, but I can't remember. It might come back to me. Mm.
I I completely and wholeheartedly agree with you. I have to hold my tongue a lot of the time when
Mm.
someone says that the doctors have said that they had to top up and they've already topped up. I'm not going to make a mum feel bad that they've already topped up but knowing that, the doctors are saying, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm sitting there going, have they given you a reason? Oh, they just weren't scaled, they're not, their weight's under. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
so,
the weight is the
oh,
last thing actually to be measured. You want to look for the wet nappies, and this is one
yeah,
thing that I want to share as well. That they all focus on the weight gain, and it's actually, yeah, not the most key thing to be looking for. So yeah, I share a lot of those myths and things like that with mums, and just encourage them skin on skin,
yeah.
skin to skin, and that trusting themselves and just demand feeding and listening to their baby is really key, and getting the latch correct. Yeah.
We were so thankful when we had our first. We went in the hospital. One of the nurses was actually a trained lactation consultant. Not that she got paid from the hospital to be a lactation consultant, but she was a trained one who did lactation outside. And we were so thankful that she was able
Mm,
to give us all those tips to know how to look after. And as you said, when you first being sent from a in the public system a lot of the time, you can be sent home within 24 hours.
mm,
Now, your milk hasn't come in, it's still colostrum.
mm.
So when you're being told that you've got a pump to top up or something like that, and you just get that, as you said, that tiny
Yeah.
amount, and you really just need to put it into a syringe, you're not actually
And
meant
then
to be pumping.
they start focusing on the meals then. They're not getting this many
Yeah,
meals and this meals. Well, you don't know how many meals your
you,
body is like your baby's
yeah,
actually drinking in that on the breast. Another thing too
exactly.
is many women also, if you haven't been brought up around women breastfeeding, if
Yeah.
that's very foreign to you, that can also be a reason that can be a bit more of a challenge. And so, when in tribes, in villages, in community, when women are all breastfeeding together, or you're seeing your mum breastfeed your siblings, it's that has become, that's gone into your subconscious mind. And so you're seeing that. But if you've grown up and not around that, then
Mhm.
there is that little extra challenge as well. And then you tend to trust, like you said, like the doctor or the midwife. Just because they're a doctor or midwife, it does not mean that they have any clue around breastfeeding, or they might have very old-fashioned, out-of-date
Yes.
information.
I could have this entire conversation just about
Yeah,
this, to be honest.
yeah, yeah.
It's really, and I completely agree with you. If you've grown up around breastfeeding, or if you've got friends that are already in that stage where, so you're not the first mum in your group, but if you're the first mum in your group, you haven't been around people that are breastfeeding, so you don't know how natural. I mean, you do know how natural it is, but you know, you get start to feel like, oh, I can't breastfeed in this group of people because I need to get my boobs out, and I'm sitting there going, well,
You
that's
can
well
cover up
and
with a
good, but
sheet,
you can
if you
cover
want
up
to.
and
Yeah,
and you're breastfeeding, you're doing something that's very
yeah.
natural. It's not like you're going and flashing it down at the beach.
Well, I'll
And
tell you, firstly, you know what? They weren't even an object of, sexuality. I can't even remember the year now. It was only really in the last 30, 40 years that they have become
yeah,
like that, and not like there is plenty of pictures of women in the early 1900s that are breastfeeding, and it wasn't even an issue
yeah.
out in public. It's only these days that it's become, a talked about
And it
subject.
shouldn't be like when I breastfed my kids for 2 years, each of them. And when you first start, like you do feel like covering up and things like that. And then you get a
Yeah.
good knack at
Hey,
it. You
you
really get
can.
in, you get so easy at it. And it's really just finding that confidence. And there's so many things out there now that, the hoop things that you can
Yeah.
still see down. You can, but when you ever have, you might feel uncomfortable at first when you start to do it, but it becomes easier. And that's where I think a lot of people do find that they drop off with doing breastfeeding because they do want to have can be uncomfortable, or they feel like they're a hermit in their own house because they feel comfortable doing it at home but
But not
can't do
around
it out.
public. Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's a lot
it's an
said.
interesting, and having someone like you to support them through that and understand that and help get them to know that there's a community, that it's a natural thing and that it's supported is really where people can help, their postpartum, like getting used to their baby, getting used to sleep, and just really understanding that point. And I knew I turned off the wrong note. Um, Um, Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So yeah, breastfeeding is definitely one of those things that and doctors telling me, like, for my own purpose, I had I've had two kids. As a first kid, I didn't really get told about the top up because he was feeding, he perfectly fed fine. I knew my child by the second kid. So I knew as a second mum to stand up to myself. But I was the mum, and this one hurt. And I hope no mother goes through this, but unfortunately, I've heard so many stories that they do. They go and see the maternal health nurse, and they come back from that maternal health nurse needing to top up or thinking they have to top up because that maternal health nurse, they haven't put on enough weight,
Mm,
and they think. I went to that maternal health nurse with my daughter, and I was the mum that walked home crying from it
mm,
because I got told that she wasn't
mm.
putting on enough weight.
Yeah.
Until half an hour later, I snapped myself back out of it and said, "No, I know my kid. And I
Yeah.
know they're breastfeeding perfectly fine. And I
Yes.
know that it's not the traditional feed on one side or feed for 15 minutes on each
Old
side.
fashioned, very old fashioned.
Oh, and because both my children did the exact same thing. They fed for 5 minutes on each side. They were efficient and they were done. And then they would snack half an hour later or an hour later. That was just them. That was what they did. But to be told by a maternal health nurse that you have to top up, I walked home crying. And then I sort of
Yeah.
went, well, hang on. And I stepped myself out. But I feel that the reason why your business is here is for those first times mums that can't stand up for themselves,
Well,
that
yes,
don't understand
I'm
it.
I'm very much wanting to help to maybe it was one of your questions that you said earlier, how I could help mums. It's like helping them advocate
Yeah.
for themselves as well and to speak up because
Mm.
we have to advocate for ourselves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just get told, what we should and shouldn't be doing and walk away, like you said, and feeling bad. Um, and this is even the nourishment side of things. Like it's learning, like empower yourself with the knowledge to know what to eat and how to look after yourself.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I whipped up a really delicious, nourishing soup in 10 minutes. Now, okay, not everyone's like wants to eat soup as the weather's warming up, but if you have just had a baby and you want to nourish yourself and and heal and recover well and support breast milk, then like there are easy, simple ways to be eating these nourishing, easy to digest meals, and that's what I'm, sharing
Yeah.
with mums. It's like learn how to advocate for yourself, and to trust yourself,
Yeah.
and how to look after yourself.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, and you may not want soup initially or anything like that, but honestly, whatever can be reheated, soup can freeze.
Yeah, and you can,
And
yeah,
so you can freeze it, you can get it in the thing, you can have it fresh and ready
yeah,
to go, and just put it in the microwave, and you're done. Or put it on the stove. You can
yeah.
easily reheat it, ready to eat. So that's yeah, amazing. Um, Sorry, I know I went off what topic on there before.
That's all right.
Um. And I guess you've kind of touched on this already. So you've mentioned a lot of the different supports that you provide throughout this, and how mums can really become the best versions of themselves. But I don't know if you want to. Do you have a story of a mum that you've worked with before that you've seen the real transformation in a client?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I had a mama who was actually pregnant with her fourth baby, but she had her other three were all under the age of three. So when this baby was born, she was going to have four under the age of four, and she was she was quite stressed. She just knew like she'd had a really rough postpartum in the first with the first three, and she just thought, how on earth am I going to cope with a fourth baby if I'm on the couch, no energy and depleted.
Oh,
And so she came to me. I did know her, she's a local mama. And yeah, I helped set her up with the nutrition, with the meal plan. I did do some in-house visits for her as well and helped, cook some of these meals. And and honestly, it was so beautiful to know that she was working with another midwife as well who was doing home visits, and we were in communication. And she just said, "Look, this lady, the mama, has just absolutely thrived And she had the energy, like, you know, yes, you're still going to be having that tiredness, but it's different to have a little bit of tiredness, you know, because of the broken sleep, to being exhausted and depleted. And so
Yeah.
her postpartum, like for her fourth one, was far better than her other three. And she was just so grateful that she was able to have the capacity to look after her for her three little ones and her fourth baby without just being an absolute mess. So yeah, it was really great.
And that's inspirational because knowing that nourishing yourself correctly, not only has she given herself the strength to look after a newborn,
Mm,
which can be tough generally, but her
absolutely.
other three kids. And
Yeah.
knowing that that's where it's getting the energy from to
Yeah.
really, you know, fuel your body correctly, and you will still have that energy to
Absolutely.
get
And
through
look,
everything.
and not to say like life's chaotic with four under the
Oh
age of
yeah.
four, right?
Totally.
It's going to be hectic, but that there's a difference between being able to have the capacity for that and you know still maybe have you know like hair pulling out days, but yeah, but going into a negative spiral because you're actually feeling worse and worse and worse and really not able to cope. There's like that's two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I think if you can stop that spiraling,
Mm-hmm.
which it may or may not happen generally, especially but maybe four kids under four. I can only imagine. But to help that give you those tools that you can use to really join it all together and get through that day.
Mm.
And it's one day at a time when you're a parent, especially in the newborn phases, the 1 week at a time. So honestly, having those tools handy and working with a team around you like you said, it's not just you, you're working with someone else as well. You've got a team that's really supporting you. You've got a community supporting you.
Yeah. And I show mums too,
That's
if, you know, it's like there's a lot of mums that feel like they don't have anyone. And I just sort of like to remind them that I feel like we're not that isolated these days, you know, that no one has no one.
yeah,
There's always someone. And even if your village is small, we will look to creating it somehow.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
And look, as you said, everyone, you can communicate and connect with people across the world now. So it's not
Yeah,
even like, you might have family on the other side where you can, making sure you're checking in, having those phone conversations. You can connect via Zoom. You can connect multiple ways now. So it's not
absolutely.
just having that face by face. Yes,
Yeah,
face to face is fantastic, but you can connect in many different ways now. So
absolutely.
that's really amazing. Um, so obviously the space, everything you do is incredibly meaningful. So, but I do imagine it wouldn't be easy. I can imagine that for what you do, you'll be finding the hard things. So, what are some of the hurdles you've faced in starting and growing the business as well as you
Mm,
personally? How have you overcome some of those challenges?
yeah. Um, yes, definitely there has been a lot of ups and downs and which is why I wanted to initially take it on. Not that's not why, but I initially wanted to take it online because I was sometimes schooling my youngest child and thought, well, it's going to be a little bit tricky going in home to mum's places, but it's worked out that I can do that locally for some of the mums. But honestly, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but the biggest challenge for me was just as I was getting finished the breastfeeding training, and sort of like, you know, just starting the business, we had a family tragedy and we lost uh, our son, one of our sons. He was 21. It was unexpected. He'd had a surgery that went terribly wrong. And that almost took me out. Like I just couldn't feel any passion for a time there. And to be honest, when I look back, I sort of feel like I tried to push myself back into it, because I felt like I just couldn't sit around doing nothing. That was just like the worst thing for me. I couldn't just
Mm.
sit around doing nothing. I needed something to keep going with, you know, not necessarily as a distraction, but yes, it probably was. But I felt so lost, you know, and so
Yeah.
And that was because I started that with that business. I thought I just didn't have the capacity to change and to do anything else. I just wanted to continue that. And over time, the passion came back. But that was a big hurdle for me to show up as much as I could,
Mm,
and put on this, you know, this front, I guess, that that I was like the passion, but I really wasn't feeling it for a time.
yeah.
So yeah, I've managed to come through that, and am able to, definitely be on board more with more capacity these days, of course. Um, and that being the major hurdle. The other one is, yeah, just all the juggles, um, with the home, we still have our two youngest at home, homeschooling, as I mentioned. I work, what do I do, 16 hours a week at a retail store in town, a Whole Food store, and so yeah, just managing my time around that. And of
Yeah.
course, I still love learning. I'm always wanting to learn more, and so I want to also make more time for like diving deeper into what I've already learned, so that I can share and be more help with mums. So I'm at my best in the morning. So I try and get as much done as I can in the mornings. Well, yeah, and then I sort of stop throughout the day to be with Teo, or if he's got activities, I'll find those pockets of time then.
Yeah. No, it's thank you for sharing that story. My dog has decided to go absolutely crazy right now.
Oh, can't hear him.
Oh, she's got a crazy
Or
dog.
she can't hear her. Yeah.
There's a delivery at the door, so barking at the postie. Um, Thank you for sharing that story. I didn't know that background for you, but finding that you found that strength to continue,
Mm,
and to bring your passion back to life. And I know that the idea of jumping back into work, it's probably, it's a distraction, but then you found that passion again to know that helping mums gives you a purpose and to
yes.
help you push through everyday challenges, and remembering things. So you know that your purpose has always led you to doing this work, because you've said it with your whole history of what you were doing. It
Mm,
was always bringing you to helping mums and helping that whole foods and the nourishing side of things and bringing it all together. And the fact that you've been able to continue that, but give you back some light in what can come down in some very dark history or dark
yeah.
times of history. So, the fact that you found that, it's a really amazing that you can bring that back into your life and continue. Um,
Mm,
I can't imagine as a mother that situation, and
yeah.
yeah. So,
Thanks. No.
um, and then it can be very difficult, and but I think that will also bring another level of depth that you can connect with your clients on. You know
Mm-hmm.
that it's not easy. You know that things can be tough, and every day can be a challenge.
Yes.
But you know that there's a light on the other end. Or there's the things that you get to still experience on the other end of that. And
Yeah.
having that experience yourself, not that I would wish it, I would think, but having an experience in your past that you can bring the purpose of that into what you're doing.
Yeah.
Finding some purpose in it, in your
Yeah.
history, and to really incorporate into the person you are today, and helping
Well, I
other
think it's
parents.
yeah, and it's that thing of like we get knocked down many times throughout life, some bigger knocks than others, right? But it is that ability to be able to get back up again and to see what else you have around you. So, if I stopped functioning, I've still got my other four children and my husband. So I was going to be like, I couldn't stop functioning,
Yeah,
and so it's like, um, yeah, we need to take the time to process and grieve and do all the things we need to do and honor that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, otherwise, I just wasn't going to allow myself to be completely um fall into a corner basically and be taken out. Like it's Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
it's like
definitely. You've
knowing, like
got
you said, like having that purpose and giving myself that time, and then and knowing that I have got, yeah, my other family as well to
yeah,
still require me to be their mum and partner, and yeah,
yeah, you've got your community around you as well, like your family, your community, your supports. And
exactly.
knowing all of that, you can incorporate how that in your business, that's exactly what you're doing for you're trying to reach out.
Mm,
You're trying to help others in giving your purpose to them to give them that family and the support and their community and the team around them. So I really love what you're doing and how
yeah.
and your business and how you're giving your purpose and yourself to it. Um, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Um,
I think what I was trying to say before was like we can feel so isolated in our own experience. Whether it is just whether it's having birthed our new baby or going through the toddler years or having a loss. And but like you said, like it's about establishing connections and community and knowing how to support and nourish yourself through those
yeah,
times.
yeah.
That makes all the difference.
100% definitely makes the difference.
Mm.
Um, so with the future of postpartum nurturing, where do you see it growing over the next few years? So obviously you're on the online space, you're in the in-person workshops. I've been seeing you've got a workshop coming up as well in person. So
Yeah.
where do you see the business growing over the next few years?
Well, online, I am seeing it sort of grow more to extending not just the nourishment and like the food side of things and the breastfeeding support, but going into that nervous system support as well, as in the way of gentle breath work. I know breath work's become a bit of a buzzword these days, but it's this is a very gentle style of breath work that helps us um, helps us set intentions and have our nervous system basically relax around those intentions. Look, there's so much more to it, but I want to be able to incorporate all of that to really have a full holistic um, support there for a mum because obviously her nervous system is going to be at rest and her digest, which will really help those nutrients, but it'll also help her to start forming um, and creating the ways that she wants to be in her family and how she wants to, create life with her family. Because we can just get caught up. One day becomes a week, becomes a month, becomes a year, and then we look back and go, "Oh, wow, we've like just stayed spinning our wheels, and
Yeah.
not done the things we've said we wanted to do, not living in our lifestyle how we want to live." So
Yeah.
that's the bigger picture for me online. And in person, I would love to see and be a part of setting up a a beautiful center that's kind of like um, a home, a beautiful home with many rooms, and it's going to have beautiful gardens. And there will be lactation consultants. There will be osteopaths. There will be pelvic floor therapists because that's another area where mothers need that help. Um, there will be the nutrition, like the cooking, and like there will be nourishing foods available, but also the learning of how to make these nourishing broths, nourishing meals
Mm.
for them, and also even snacks for toddlers. I know that's another. The mums are going, I don't know what to feed my little ones. They're like, well, I'm breastfeeding my baby. But this center where these mothers can come and just go, I'm having trouble with my breastfeeding. So great, let's go and have you come to
Yeah.
this lactation consultant and let's sort this out for you. Or I haven't eaten properly. I just really need, a meal. Great, come over here. Let's sit down. Let's give you a nourishing meal, or whatever they're experiencing. If they might need an osteopathic like um treatment to align bubby after birth and the mum, pelvic floor help. So those
Yeah.
kind of things that are essential. It's all so essential for a mother's health and recovery and care, and not just for the short term. This is for long term health and well-being,
Hmm.
and even mental wellness. Like having that trauma healing from any birth trauma that they've had. And maybe even like childhood trauma, because that does come up after having babies. So anything that in that way that their mother needs the support, I'm wanting to have that center operating so that a mum's basically got everything that she needs right at one door, and she can just be guided and directed to where she needs to go without, you know, the usual thing that happens where they're
Yes.
often medicated or given not so sound advice, and their whole intuition and trusting their instincts, yeah, is taken from them. So
You just
yeah,
brought me straight into that wellness center, like I was walking around
yeah,
the rooms, and
yep.
I
There'll be
can
a lounge room
picture,
and kids area, and
oh,
someone there to help play with the kids while the mum's
yeah.
sitting down having some herbal tea, or maybe she might want to have a lesson, or like learn something, or yeah,
It's like the wellness center retreat. Like
yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
I can picture myself there going, just seeing the support that's been offered and the relief in the mums going, I'm actually feeling heard, I'm feeling supported, and it beautiful vision. I was
Thank you.
drawn
Yeah.
straight into it, and I oh geez,
And yeah, gardens, if they want to get outside and meander
oh,
through a beautiful garden, and there'll be herbs and, all sorts of things. So yeah, it'll happen.
yeah. I love how you even mentioned osteopaths. I took my kids to osteopaths because what happens straight after birth? They go
Yep.
if they whether they're through C-section or natural or like
Mm.
vaginal, they go through traumatic things themselves, and their body just needs to be helped be
Yep.
realigned. They don't do cracking. They
No,
just feel
it's really
the.
gentle
I
alignment.
don't even know how they do it, but they do it amazingly, whatever they do.
Yeah.
And so no, it's definitely, I can just see your vision in that wellness center, and I'm here to support you 100% of the way. So I look forward to seeing them
Thanks,
popping up
Felicity.
in every state,
Yes.
or even throughout the world. Like, go with that vision and really, really go in with it. Um, if you could change one thing about the way society views postpartum care, I mean, I know there's many, but if you could pick just one, what would you pick?
Um, to see that the mother has gone through a massive transformation and really requires the support and the nourishment, and that postpartum isn't um, just about coming around to see the baby and meet the new baby.
Yeah,
It's about the mother that's being birthed as well,
yeah,
and the village that needs to be created, whether that's a few people, and it doesn't have to be a whole lot, but to see that um the village, the people that do come around, they know what to do, they know how they can help in a really beneficial way. That's
and
one thing.
often,
Yeah, there's like, and I say to people, like, oftentimes people, family, friends will say, let me know what you need help with, when your baby's born. And, but then the mother gets ghosted. They don't, no one ends up coming around, or they come around to see the baby. It's really because people feel like they're going to be a burden. They feel
mm,
like, oh, I don't want to go around and bother them. They're having their bonding time. And so people stay away. But if you
yeah,
gave people, if like when the mum is prepared, or the partner is able to give specific instructions to, the family and friends who want to come around, if they know that they've got a couple of people who love cooking, so here you go, here's a couple of recipes, would you mind making
hmm,
this for us and dropping it around? You might not be able to stay for a visit for very long, but if you could just drop it at the door, that'd be wonderful. Or would you mind like popping in and just giving the floor a clean, or putting on a
yeah,
load of washing? If someone has got specific jobs to do, 9 times out of 10 those people are very happy to pop in and do that. But when they're left
exactly.
to sort of like not know, they've offered the help, but they don't know how to help, they're going to feel like a burden. They'll stay away.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
so yeah, that's what I would say, is like just to help educate the people who are coming to help, and that it's not about just popping around, sitting around for hours chatting to the mum while they cuddle the baby. It's about really
yeah.
supporting the mum and nourishing her, and yeah, giving her that space and that time to bond, to heal, to recover.
Yeah, exactly. The amount of times that people will just want to come around to see the baby and the mum's forgotten about. It's like, they're all about excited about a newborn, and it's like, well, hang on, how can we support the mum?
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
and what they're going through. So, for mums who are struggling, who might be listening right now, and struggling through the new phase of their journey,
Hmm.
what's one simple step that they can take today to feel more nourished and supported?
So I would say to, well, they could actually download my PDF if they want to get some recipes,
Yep.
but to help them nourish themselves, like just to go into the kitchen, put on a pot of nourishing soup. Now, simple is best. And you want to have quality fats and protein, and just have it really easy and simple, and just have that on the stove. And even if you need to have 3 helpings of that a day, you've got something ready for you to go to when you're hungry. And
Mhm.
it's going to be nourishing, it's going to be warm, which is another key thing for postpartum healing. And rest up and just take naps, or 10-minute power naps do you the world of good.
Yeah,
Just have those little power naps throughout the day. Don't worry about the dishes, don't worry about the other jobs that need to be done. They'll still be there in 10 minutes time, 15 minutes time, 20 minutes time, but just do that first for yourself, and
exactly. You
have
don't have to
yourself a
get those.
nourishing. Yeah, you could just do some scrambled eggs,
Yeah,
or fried eggs. Keep it simple, keep it easy, but feed yourself well.
yeah. And for our fellow entrepreneurs out there building businesses right now around heart and healing, what advice would you share about staying true to your mission?
Hmm.
It's a bit of a tough one.
Yeah, about staying true to your mission. I feel for me, what's helped me is continuing to be surrounded by people who support you
Yeah.
in business and in your mission and in your vision,
Mhm.
and um, and just by doing something towards, like within your business every day, or at least most days, will keep you sort of plugged in. So if you sort of like, move away from it, or like just forget about doing your tasks, or like forget about like learning a little bit more, you start to dwindle away. Your passion or your vision can dwindle away. So it is about being active in your business and around people who support that daily, if possible.
Yeah. Finding your community to really support you in
Finding the
business
community once again.
and
Yep, going back to
collaborating
community. Yeah,
community.
community.
Definitely. I feel that as a small business, as entrepreneurs, community is one of the most important things in
Yeah.
our keeping us going.
Yes.
So definitely.
And with many of us, are doing it on our own. So if find community, you can do it online, or go to
Mhm.
networking meetings, and have really great conversations that are uplifting and that help you um, have, stick to your goals, and have positive visions,
Yeah.
not rather than talking about all the doom and gloom, and you know what's wrong in business.
You've got to celebrate your wins in business. So,
Exactly.
exactly.
Hmm.
Um, well, thank you very much, Tara. Like, this
Thank
has been
you.
an incredible conversation. So, I want to thank you for everything that you do, and how you're shining that light on what is an often overlooked chapter of motherhood, reminding us that postpartum journey is not something to just get through and forget.
No,
It's about taking the time to feel deeply nourished, restored, and supported.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it does
So,
actually follow on. Oh, sorry, I was just going to quickly say,
okay.
when we can nourish ourselves in those early years, well, definitely in those early months, it actually, a lot of cultures actually have realized or say that it affects our menopause years as well. So
Good
how
to know.
we've been nourished in those early times will affect our menopause. So that's something key as well for mums to understand.
All the things that us females go through, whether they're a mother or not a mother, the female body and all the life cycles throughout it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
um, I absolutely love how your mission is really to help mums replenish their energy and heal their digestion and step into the role that the mother they yearn to be and it's such powerful work that you do. I
Thank
know
you.
you probably don't see it or feel it at times, but what you do is really powerful. It's really needed, and it is an amazing business that you have and what you've created. And
Thank
it's
you.
conversation like these that I really hope that reminds you of how your purpose in your business and how important it is. And it reminds us all that how much the impact that purpose-led businesses can have. It's not about
Yes.
money, it's about purpose.
Yes.
And really, that's what we're here to. If you lead with purpose, you'll be successful in life.
Thank you. Yes.
So what stood out most for me is, well, everything, but is the care and intention behind what you offer. Creating a space for mothers to feel seen in the community, online presence, in person, to heal, to thrive, rather than to just survive, as we do when we have, sometimes when we've just given birth, and it's really hard you just want to survive.
Yeah.
So a huge thank you to you, Tara, for sharing your journey, your
Thank
wisdom,
you.
your heart with us today. And I really, truly thank you. So for those who are watching, if you'd like to connect with Tara, I will put all of the links below, her community, her support, get in contact with her to learn more about postpartum nurturing, and the descriptions in below. And as always, if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chat in our Brew Biz Chats series, where we're keeping the spotlight on Aussie founders who are doing business with heart. So thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your coffee, and I'll see you in the next episode.